Good evening, y'all. It's Monday, March 1st. Welcome back to another edition of the Wildcats and Then Some podcast. I'm your host, Deshaun. How y'all doing today? Now, when y'all finish watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, leave a comment under my YouTube. Leave a comment if you're watching it on YouTube, or if you're listening to it on Anchor, leave me a voice message. The link to leave a voice message is anchor.fm / Deshaun, D as in dog, ESEAN dash Hughes, HUGHES / message. I want to hear from y'all. If you have any suggestions on what y'all would like to hear me talk about, or if you just want to tell me you agree or disagree, so tell me something. Let a brother know. All right. So when you finish watching or listening to this podcast, be sure to leave me a comment, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to it on Anchor. Well, as you can see, I don't have any Kentucky blue on today. Western, representing for the hometown team, Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Earlier today, Western defeated Florida International. I think this now puts Western at 17-5 overall. Now, even though Western lost to Louisville earlier this season, I do believe that as far as this year goes, Western Kentucky is the best college basketball team in the state of Kentucky. Because, Kentucky, we ass. We suck this year. Louisville, they're better than us. As much as I hate to say it, this year they're better than us. But, I just think Western is just a little bit better. But despite their good record, Western still has to win the Conference USA in order to get in the NCAA tournament. Because, I don't think they have enough quality wins to get into the NCAA tournament, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they can sneak in even if they don't win the Conference USA. But, I hope they do. I hope Western gets in. They're a fun team to watch. Tavion Hollingsworth, a Kentucky-grown basketball player, he's pretty damn good. And if he doesn't win Conference USA Player of the Year, I think he'll at least make it to the Conference USA first team. And then there's Charles Bassey. He might just be the best power forward in college basketball. If he's not the best power forward in college basketball, he's one of them. He's 6'9", wingspan of about 7'2", I think. He can score in the post. He rebounds the ball pretty well on both ends, offense and defense. He's a good defender, especially when it comes to protecting the rim. And, he's a double-double threat just about every night. He's a good rim runner. He can score in the post. He's shown the ability to knock down threes. Whoever drafts Charles Bassey in the 2021 draft is going to get a good player. Maybe not a superstar player, but I do believe that Charles Bassey will be a good NBA player, maybe even an all-star. But, I guess we'll have to wait and see. It might depend on who drafts him, But whoever gets Charles Bassey, they're going to steal. If Tavion Hollingsworth, if he gets drafted too, I think he'll be a good NBA player for whoever picks him up. He might not be a star like Bassey has the potential to be, but I do think he could be a good role player in this league. I gotta say, Rick Stansbury, he's done a good job of turning Western around. I remember him when he coached at Mississippi State. He was a good coach. He had some good years, he had some not so good years, but Western hired the right man in Rick Stansbury. Hopefully he'll stick around for the long term, but it's Western. It's a stepping stone job. It's not a job that coaches stay at for 20 plus years, Because Darren Horn, he started at Western, did pretty good, and then he gets hired by South Carolina. Couldn't really do nothing with them. Got fired. Dennis Felton, who also was a good coach at Western, he got a calling. Went to Georgia, but didn't really accomplish much at Georgia and got fired. Ken McDonald, we fired him. I don't think he went on anywhere else, but Ken McDonald, he had a few good years, then kind of fell off, got fired. Ray Harper, who came from Division II on up and moved up to Western, he had some good years and then got fired. So hopefully Stansbury will stay for the long term. But yeah, moving on from Western, Kentucky lost again to Florida. We were playing good in the first half, but like many of the games we've lost this year, we couldn't hold a lead, couldn't shoot, made too many mistakes. Like, it's the same song and dance. Well, at least this year it's been the same song and dance. Turnovers, lack of shooting, can't hold a lead, can't get a lead. And all that has led to our record of 8-14. We got 2 games left. We got Ole Miss, who's 13-10, and got South Carolina, who I think is like 6-12. Now, hopefully we win both games, but I don't know, because we've been sucking this year, and we've been sucking bad. Like, and it's bad enough we lost to Louisville, but we just can't get right. Like, I don't know. I think COVID is partially to blame because of COVID, teams couldn't practice as much as they normally could. There was no exhibition games, so we didn't have any time to iron out the wrinkles, And plus our team is really young, but that's not an excuse. I mean, it shouldn't be an excuse, especially considering that we have a grad student guard in Davian Mintz and a senior transfer in Olivier Sarr. This year, I mean, it's definitely been disappointing. 8-14 overall. Even if we win our last 2 games, that only puts us at 10-14. In order for Kentucky to get to the NCAA tournament, we have to win the SEC. And we ain't gonna get in if we don't. Now last year, if they would have had an SEC tournament, yeah, we would have got in even if we lost. The year before that, same thing. The year before that, same thing. But this year is not one of them years. We have to win the SEC tournament if we want to go to the NCAA tournament. But I don't know. I just don't know if it can happen. Like, we're bad. This is the first time since Billy Gillispie was Kentucky's coach that I have not been excited about Kentucky basketball. Usually I'm upset when I miss a Kentucky game. But this year, I mean, I've missed some games. I went back and watched some of them, but the ones I didn't go back and watch, I'm like, oh well. I mean, we lost. What's the point of watching it? But, next year will be better, hopefully. But I don't. One thing I will say is this: I'm not jumping on the fire John Calipari bandwagon. I mean, he's been at Kentucky for I think 12 years now, and he's only had 1 bad season. So, I mean, he deserves at least another chance to prove that this year was a fluke. Why fire him after 1 bad season, especially when he's one of the highest paid coaches in the country? If you buy him out, you're going to have to pay him a shit ton of money. If you fire him, who you going to replace him with? I mean, seriously, who? Because, I mean, some of these other coaches, they're not going to come to Kentucky. Coach K, he's locked into Duke for the rest of his life. He will die as Duke's coach. Roy Williams ain't going to leave North Carolina. Brad Stevens, he's probably one of the only coaches I would want to replace John Calipari when John Calipari leaves Kentucky, because he ain't gonna be there forever. That's the thing. Now, there's a short list of coaches who I would like to see at Kentucky when that day comes, when Calipari's gone. Brad Stevens, who's currently the Celtics coach. Jay Wright, who's currently the coach at Villanova. Billy Donovan, who's coaching the Chicago Bulls. Or Kenny Payne, who's an assistant coach with the New York Knicks right now. If it ain't one of them 4, then we don't need to think about it. Like, really, don't even think about replacing Calipari if it's not one of those 4. Now, if I was to pick one, I guess I would like to have Kenny Payne, because Brad Stevens is, I think, the youngest of those four, but Kenny Payne, he's still considered young for a coach. He knows how to develop players. Hell, he pretty much played a big part in Nick Richards' development, PJ Washington, Carl Anthony Towns, and pretty much everyone who has come to Kentucky since, I think, 2014. Kenny Payne played a hand in developing them. So, yeah, when Calipari does call it quits, or if Kentucky decides to fire him, hopefully Kenny Payne will take the job and lead us back to the promised land. Because, I mean, when we won the national championship in 2012, when we won the national championship in 2012, I thought we could do it again. Now, I knew we wasn't going to do it again in 2013, but I thought we would at least win one or two more with John Calipari, but it hasn't happened. Our best chance at winning a national championship again was in 2015 when we had that platoon team, and I think 8 of those guys went on to the NBA. Towns, Cauley Stein, Devin Booker, Trey Lyles, Alex Poitras, Tyler Ulis, Dakari, and the Harrisons. Yeah, it was 9 players. Yeah, we had 9 guys make it to the NBA. I think 5 of them are still in the NBA. We was 38-0, got beat by Wisconsin in the Final Four. That was our best shot at winning another championship, and we blew it. And we haven't been back to the Final Four since then. Don't get me wrong, I like John Calipari. I think he's a good coach, but he needs to change some things. Y'all know the saying, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's insanity. Yeah. I don't know. Is Coach Cal going insane? Y'all tell me, because he hasn't changed his approach at all. It's strange how year after year our teams struggle shooting free throws. It's strange that year after year our team struggles shooting the 3 ball. It's strange that year after year we start off slow, and then as the season progresses we get better. Why can't we hit the ground running? Now, don't get me wrong, I like that he brings in talented players, but you can't rely solely on one and done. Yeah, we won the championship in 2012, but we had a couple of sophomores who were in the Final Four as freshmen the year before. We had a senior 6th man in Darius Miller. We had shooters. Deron Lamb could shoot. Kyle Wiltjer could shoot. We had defenders. Anthony Davis, excellent rim protector, good pick and roll defender. Terrence Jones was also a good defender, at least in the collegiate ranks. As a team, we played good defense, but I don't see any of that on this year's team. We don't have any good shooters except for Dante Allen and Davian Mintz. We don't play defense as a team. We don't rebound well. We don't have anyone who can give the ball and he can go out there and get a bucket. We just don't have it. And it's partly because it's your fault, Coach Cal. Why not go out there and recruit guys that can shoot? Everybody who's a shooter is not, everybody that can shoot is not limited as a ball handler. Some players can handle the ball and shoot. Now, I understand that Dante Allen is kind of limited as a ball handler, but you being the coach, draw up some plays so he can get open. That's what you get paid to do. I don't understand. I'm not saying that I can do a better job, but you get paid almost $10 million a year to put these boys in the best position possible to succeed, and you ain't done it this year. Stop recruiting athletes who can't shoot. Stop recruiting big men who can jump high but can't score in the post. If you're gonna do that, only get one big man that can do that. Because I thought Olivier Sarr was gonna be better than what he is, but whatever he was doing at Wake Forest, it didn't carry over to Kentucky because he plays really soft. And at the beginning of the season, he was our go-to guy, but he kind of faded down the stretch. Isaiah Jackson, I mean, I like him, but again, like I was saying, he's one of them big men that's limited. I mean, he's a freakish athlete, but don't really have much of a post game, nor is he a shooter. This whole dribble drive offense, whatever he's trying to do, it's outdated. Like you need to get some guys that can play multiple positions. You need to get, excuse me, you need to start going after these big men that can shoot. Or if you are going to go after the athletic big man, at least get somebody that can at least do a few post moves. You know what I mean? Get you a guard that knows how to make everyone around him better, because Devin Askew ain't it. Excuse me. I had high hopes for this team at the beginning of the season, especially when we put a hurting on Morehead State at the beginning of the season. We played great that game. We shot the 3-ball well. We played great defense as a team, rebounded well. And then everything went to shit real quick. We lost, after beating Morehead State, I think we lost 6 games in a row before we finally won our second game. Then I think we went on like a small winning streak. Then we went on a losing streak. Then we won a couple games. Then we started losing again. And that's why we're 8-14. Now, I don't know what to expect from next year's team. Now, I'm pretty sure Isaiah Jackson is as good as gone. He's been our best player this year, and he's done the most to improve his draft stock. Brandon Boston, BJ, I'm sure he's gone, even though he has a lot to work on. I mean, yeah, he's long, he's athletic, he's got a nice handle, but he's not a good finisher, not a good shooter. He doesn't play defense. Like, he's got a lot to work on. Terrence Clark, he should come back, but I think he's as good as gone. I mean, he's spent most of this year on the bench because of injuries, but when he did play, he showed some flashes of brilliance. Now, maybe a team will take a chance on him in the first round, but he probably goes second round at best. Davian Mintz, he may come back for a 6th year. He hasn't made a decision. Same with Sarr. I wouldn't be surprised if Dante Allen transfers, because, yeah, Dante Allen is one of them boys where Calipari's like, you made one mistake, you're out of the game. And it's shown over and over again at many points this season. Cameron Fletcher, if he might transfer too, which if he does, if both of them transfer, if one of them decides to stay and the other transfers, I wouldn't be mad at him. Because if I was a high school basketball player and one of the highly ranked coaches like Calipari comes to my house and says, hey, you come play for me, I get you in the NBA. And I'm gonna be like, okay, cool, I'm coming then. And I come to your school and you won't let me play, you yank me from the game if I make one little mistake, yeah, I would transfer too. I wouldn't blame him. Because Dante Allen is better than this. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go on to be a star in the NBA. I'm not saying he's going to be another Devin Booker or nothing like that. But Dante Allen is better than what he has shown at Kentucky. If he was to transfer to another school like, I don't know, say Western, or hell, maybe even a school like Auburn, I bet you'd see the real Dante Allen. Same with Cameron Fletcher. I mean, he was the lowest ranked recruit, but couldn't be that bad. He can't be so bad that he doesn't deserve any minutes at all. I mean, a lot of big schools were recruiting him. Michigan State, Creighton, I believe North Carolina offered Cameron Fletcher a scholarship, so he's not a scrub. I mean, John Calipari is just, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I love Coach Cal, but he don't know how to make adjustments. He struggles making in-game adjustments, which is a head scratcher because you've been a coach for 30 plus years. You should know how to make in-game adjustments. You should know how to draw plays, but he kind of struggles with that too. I mean, it's like De'Aaron Fox had said. He said John Calipari don't give a damn about winning championships. He just wants to get players to the NBA. I mean, which is good and all, but yeah, as a college coach, yes, your job is to get these boys ready for the next level, but you got to win too. Now, Fox further elaborated on them comments. He said something like, when Calipari gets guys that he can develop into a one and done, yeah, the 30 win seasons are standard, which is true. I mean, when Calipari has those guys that he can get ready for the NBA in 1 year, Kentucky wins 30 games, no problem. I mean, it happened that year we had Fox. It happened, no. I was gonna say it happened the year we had Jamal Murray, but we didn't win 30 that year. But I think we won like 26. It happened the year with Towns. It happened the year with Anthony Davis when we won the championship. It happened his first year at Kentucky when we had John Wall. So yeah, when Calipari gets those guys who he can make NBA players in 1 year, yeah, the 30 wins come standard. But then you have years like this year where we didn't have enough time to gel and iron out the wrinkles. This shit happens. Now, I'm not saying Kentucky should just go away from one and done, but maybe you should recruit. Maybe Cal should only get like 1 or 2 players who are one and done caliber, and then the rest of his recruiting class be guys who will stay for 2 or 3 years, and as well as some grad student transfers here and there. That's the best way to do it. I mean, yes, a lot of Kentucky fans are against one and done, and I understand, but one thing's for sure is in order to win championships in college, you got to have NBA level talent. Just because you have a team full of juniors and seniors does not mean you're going to win the championship. Now, if that was the case, shit, Wisconsin would have won about 4 or 5 championships by now. They have juniors and seniors every damn year. But do they have any championships to show for it? Hell no, they don't. Because they don't get NBA level talent. I mean, when was the last time a team won a championship and didn't send anybody to the NBA? Yeah, I don't think it's been done. I mean, since the advent of the McDonald's All-American game, I don't think there's ever been a team that won a championship without one. Okay, I think there's been 1 team, maybe 2. Yeah, that Maryland team that won the championship in 2002, they didn't have any McDonald's All-Americans. And I think Connecticut in 2014, when they beat us, they didn't have any McDonald's All-Americans. Yes, 2 teams over the last 30 years. So you got to have the NBA caliber talent in order to win a championship. It's just impossible to do it without them. Now, I don't know how good our team is going to be next year. I mean, but hopefully it won't be a repeat of this year. I mean, I haven't seen too much of Nolan Hickman, but I like him. I'm glad he's coming to Kentucky. I like Damian Collins. I think Bryce Hopkins, the 4-star player we got coming next year, he's underrated. I do hope Kentucky gets that dude from Wisconsin, Brandon Podziemski. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know. He's really good. He kind of reminds me of Tyler Hero. They both from Wisconsin. They both play with a swagger. They can shoot, score. Brandon, though, is left-handed. I think Tyler, though, might be a little more athletic, though. But I hope Brandon Podziemski comes to Kentucky because he's narrowed his list down to 4, and Kentucky is one of them. Yeah, hopefully Jeff Shepard's son Reed comes to Kentucky too, but I wouldn't blame him if he didn't come. Because, yeah, Calipari, for whatever reason, he don't like Kentucky boys. He keep them on the bench. I mean, Derek Willis, even though he started some games his senior year, but Calipari had him on a short leash. Dominic Hawkins never was a bench player all 4 years he was at Kentucky. Darius Miller, he started his junior year, came off the bench his senior year. Yeah, hopefully next year is not a repeat of this year for Kentucky. I don't see us making it to the NCAA tournament. I don't think they should take an NIT invite if they get that. But if next year is a repeat of this year, Kentucky, Mitch Barnhart might want to have to explore his options. He might have to put Calipari on the hot seat if next season is another bad year like this one. All right, y'all. I mean, enough about that. Moving on. J.J. Watt, longtime Houston Texan. He signed a new contract. He signed a contract to play for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, when J.J. Watt asked for his release and Houston granted it, he said money isn't what he's looking for. He wants to win a championship. But why would you sign with Arizona? I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. Arizona's good, but they ain't championship level. I mean, I like Kyler Murray. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he has the potential to be the best quarterback in the game. But yeah, Arizona is probably a few years away from being a title contender. I think they'll be good next year, but winning the championship, nah, that ain't happening. I mean, he had offers from the Steelers, Packers, my Titans, but you chose the Cardinals. I mean, good luck with that. But hey, as a Titans fan, I'm just glad J.J. Watt is not in our division no more, because he raised hell for us throughout his career, especially against Zach Mettenberger. I still remember when J.J. Watt sacked then Titans quarterback Zach Mettenberger and showed off. Like J.J. Watt, after he sacked Zach Mettenberger, he made fun of he did a little selfie because to make fun of Zach Mettenberger. I mean, it was funny, but at the same time, I was just like, man, fuck Watt. But yeah, hopefully he does well in Arizona, but I just don't know. I think J.J. Watt's best days are behind him. I mean, he might get 5 or 6 sacks, but the defensive player of the year, J.J. Watt, he gone. That J.J. Watt is no more. I think he can still contribute, but if Arizona wins gets to the Super Bowl, it ain't going to be because of J.J. Watt. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, again, I am a Titans fan, but I do feel kind of bad for Deshaun Watson. I mean, they traded DeAndre Hopkins. They let go of J.J. Watt. He wants out now, but they won't let him go. I mean, on one hand, I understand because he is their franchise quarterback. He is a top 10 quarterback, in my opinion. But on the other hand, it's like, yo, he don't want to be there no more. Let him go. Now, yeah, I know he signed a contract extension, but when these athletes sign these contract extensions, they can't see the future. I mean, it's not like he knew that Bill O'Brien was going to be a dumb motherfucker and trade DeAndre Hopkins. He didn't know that J.J. Watt was going to ask for a release and get it. He didn't know that the Texans would be one of the worst teams in the NFL in 2020. So let the man go. Free Deshaun Watson. I don't care where he goes as long as it's not a divisional opponent, but I don't see that happening. Jacksonville, I don't think Jacksonville has anyone that Houston would want in order to trade for Watson. And the Colts traded some draft picks for Mr. Glass, a.k.a. Carson Wentz. He was, once upon a time, he looked like a future MVP quarterback, but since he got injured, he hasn't been the same Carson Wentz. I mean, he kind of sucks now, but Indianapolis does have a better offensive line than the Eagles. They do have better receivers, a better running back, better defense. So maybe Carson Wentz will revive his career in Indy. Which, I mean, if he does, great. I just hope he sucks when he plays against the Titans. Don't really have any other NFL thoughts. Trevor Lawrence more than likely will go number 1 overall, which kind of sucks for him because Jacksonville is terrible. Trevor Lawrence alone can't turn them around. They'll probably win 4 games at the most. That's enough about that. Moving on to the NBA. LeBron James, his name has been in the news lately. First, it was that soccer player, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, or whatever the fuck his name is. And then it was Colby Covington. Yeah, Zlatan had basically told LeBron, oh, you're a great athlete. You should stick to being an athlete and forget about politics. You know, I don't know where Zlatan Ibrahimovic is from, but here in the United States, we have the right to free speech. And if you don't agree with what LeBron is saying, you don't have to listen to him. Like, this whole shut up and dribble nonsense, I don't subscribe to that shit. Because shut up and dribble is nothing but a racist dog whistle. Yeah, racism exists. It never went away. This country was built on it. So if you mad that I'm talking about racism, suck it up. It's the truth. Shut up and dribble is nothing but a racist dog whistle, spoken by hypocritical conservatives who support Donald Trump, like Colby Covington. Yeah, it's just funny to me how Trump supporters will say shut up and dribble, but when an athlete openly supports Donald Trump, they ain't got a problem with it. Yeah, the Colt 45, yeah, that's what I call Trump supporters, because these motherfuckers worship Donald Trump like he's God. If you still support Donald Trump, you're a fucking cultist. No, there's nothing you can say can convince me otherwise. Yeah, the Colt 45ers, they love it when an athlete supports Donald Trump. They didn't say shut up and be an entertainer when Colby Covington openly supported Donald Trump. They didn't say shut up and be an entertainer when former NFL player Herschel Walker openly supported Donald Trump. But the moment somebody doesn't openly support Donald Trump, the moment somebody says, oh, I'm not with Trump, shut up and dribble. Man, fuck y'all. Seriously, fuck y'all. If you subscribe to the shut up and dribble ideology, fuck you. You racist piece of shit. Like, I don't care if you don't agree with LeBron James. If you don't agree with him, just don't listen to the man. Especially fucking Colby Covington. Colby Covington is nothing but an attention whore. He's a clout chaser. For those of you who aren't familiar with slang, clout is just another word for attention. Yeah, Colby Covington gonna call LeBron a Chinese finger puppet, saying, "Oh, why don't you speak out against the Chinese for making your shoes and paying them crumbs?" Like, shut up, Colby Covington. Nobody gives a fuck about what you think. Now, I'm not saying Mr. Covington can't have his own opinion. My issue with Colby Covington is this motherfucker don't care. He don't give a fuck about China. He just using LeBron James' name to give himself 15 minutes of fame. Like, if you don't give a fuck about what's going on, don't even say nothing. Like, don't even mention it if you don't care about it. Like, if Mr. Covington here truly cared about China, use your fucking mouth to say something. You got a mouth. You've got a platform. I'm sure Colby Covington got 100,000 followers on Twitter. Use your fucking mouth if you want to say something about China. Don't look for another man to do some shit that you can do. So fuck Colby Covington and fuck anybody that supports him. Yeah, I said it. You don't like it? Too bad. If you haven't figured it out by now, I'm anti-Trump. Now, that doesn't mean I support Biden either, but if you support Trump, fuck you. Like, y'all some cult following evil motherfuckers. Like, and don't give me no shit about, oh, but there's good and bad on both sides. Yeah, that's not the point. I mean, you don't see Democrats building golden statues of their former presidents and worshiping them like they're God. It's what y'all Republicans did at the CPAC. Built a fucking gold statue of Donald Trump and worship it like it's God. Like, it's... Oh, and speaking of Colby Covington, he want to talk about Chinese people getting paid crumbs. You act like it's LeBron that's paying him. LeBron ain't the one paying them. Like, if you got a problem with how China treats their people, won't you say something? Colby. Again, you have a mouth. Fucking use it. Quit using LeBron's name to give yourself clout because nobody gives a fuck about you. Like, I don't know. Colby to me just comes off as jealous because, I mean, the NBA is worldwide. The NFL, although mostly popular here in the US, is worldwide. MLB is worldwide. Like, most people, yeah, UFC and MMA has gained some popularity, but it'll never be the most popular sport in the world. It'll never reach the heights of boxing or basketball, baseball, so on and so on. Yeah, Colby Covington just mad because you have to get your ass whooped and still not make a lot of money. I mean, I looked up his net worth. His net worth's like $2 million. I mean, LeBron makes that in a month, maybe less than that. It's the motherfucker is nothing but a attention-seeking whore. He's nothing but a clout chaser. Like, nobody gives a fuck about Colby Covington. If you was to ask your average American, I guarantee you 9 out of 10 of them never heard of Colby Covington. But most Americans have heard of LeBron James. Most Americans have heard of Tom Brady. Most Americans have heard of Kevin Durant, Mookie Betts, Mike Trout. But yeah, Colby Covington, who the fuck is he to most Americans? I mean, yeah, I like UFC somewhat, but I never heard of the motherfucker till he started being a clout chaser. I mean, I really honestly don't care too much for UFC. I mean, if John Jones ain't fighting, if Conor McGregor ain't fighting, if Kamaru Usman's not fighting, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather watch boxing than UFC, honestly. Even though boxing is nowhere near as good as it used to be, I'd still rather watch it over UFC. But yeah, fuck you, Colby Covington, you stupid, you stupid motherfucker, you clout chasing motherfucker, fuck you. But anyways, yeah, I'm probably done pissed some people off, so enough about Colby, enough about the MAGA clan. Yeah, moving on to more NBA. Shout out to the Kentucky players who got voted to the All-Star game. Devin Booker, and Julius Randle. Yeah, Devin, the Suns, I think they're like 4th in the Western Conference this year, which is great for them because it's been a long time since Phoenix was in the playoffs. Now, of course, adding Chris Paul definitely helps, but I'm glad to see them doing well. Glad to see the Knicks doing well as too. Sorry. But yeah, a big reason why the Knicks are doing so well is because a former Kentucky Wildcat, Julius Randle. He's averaging career highs in points, rebounds, assists. He's shooting 40% from the three-point line. Right now, he's got the Knicks at 4th place in the Eastern Conference. Hopefully they keep it up because I do want to see the Knicks in the playoffs. They got 5 former Kentucky players on the Knicks. Randle, Nerlens Noel, Kevin Knox, Emmanuel Quickley. Okay, it's just them 4, but they got a lot of former Kentucky Wildcats on their team. Anthony Davis, he was named to the All-Star game too, but he's nursing an injury right now, so Anthony Davis won't be participating in the All-Star game. But yeah, also shout out to Jamal Murray. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, Jamal Murray scored 50 points. Now, what was most impressive about that 50-point performance is he didn't get any help from the referees. He scored all 50 of his points without shooting a free throw. He went, I think, 21 of 25 from the field and 8 of 10 from the three-point line. Jamal Murray, he's a baller. I mean, he probably should have made the All-Star game too, but I get it. It's hard for a guard to make it to the All-Star game, especially the guards that play in the Western Conference, because you got to take votes away from Stephen Curry. You got to take votes away from Klay Thompson when he's healthy. You got to get votes away from Luka Doncic, my boy, from the Mavericks. You got to take votes away from Damian Lillard, too. So it's hard as hell to make the All-Star game as a guard if you play in the West. Because, hell, De'Aaron Fox probably should have made it, too. Now, I know Sacramento is one of the worst teams in the league, but De'Aaron Fox is having a great year. He's averaging career highs in points. He's averaging career highs in assists. I think his field goal percentage is a career high. He's had a couple of triple doubles this year too. But yeah, free De'Aaron Fox. I wish you didn't sign that contract extension with Sacramento because Sacramento sucks, and I'd hate to see another Kentucky player waste his prime years in Sacramento. It happened with Cousins, and now it's happening again with De'Aaron Fox. But I'm looking forward to the All-Star game. Hopefully it's hopefully it's a entertaining one. Yeah, my Dallas Mavericks, we got one All-Star in Luka. If Porzingis was healthy the whole season, he probably would have made it too. But I mean, I'm just glad that Dallas is somewhat competitive again. We won our game earlier today against the Orlando Magic, and that now puts us at excuse me. That now puts us at 17 and 16. But excuse me, it's still not enough to get in the playoffs. So hopefully we can keep winning, and we need the Warriors to start losing some games because they're the team that's ahead of us in the standings for that final playoff spot. So keep it up, Dallas. Keep it up. Now, y'all, before I leave y'all, I just want to say I'm gonna give y'all some recommendations, some TV recommendations. If you have Showtime, you should watch the documentary about Tekashi 6ix9ine. Now, I'm pretty sure, unless you've been living under a rock these last 2 years, you know who Tekashi 6ix9ine is. He's that rainbow-haired rapper with the 6ix9ine tattooed on his head and all the tattoos all over his body. Yeah, it's very interesting. Now, I'm not a fan of Tekashi 6ix9ine. I don't like him. I personally think he's a piece of shit, but that documentary is very interesting. I mean, it details, it goes into great detail of how he came about and why he did it. Now, I've only watched the first couple episodes. I'm not sure how many there are in total, but it's very interesting because it just goes to show you how some people literally will do anything for clout. Case in point, Tekashi 6ix9ine. This dude, he pretty much is a troll. He has to troll though because his music sucks ass. His music is terrible. I mean, all of his songs sound the same. Yeah, you a piss nigga. Yeah, pussy motherfucker. That's what most of his songs sound like. Like, the motherfucker can't rap for shit. But he'd be a great marketing manager if he was to give up rapping. Because, yeah, personally, I don't think he can rap for shit. But, yeah, this dude, he needs to lay low. Or else he's going to be a cautionary tale. Now, I would never wish for bad things to happen to anybody, but I mean, if somebody were to put a bullet in 6ix9ine, I can't say he didn't have it coming. I mean, all that trolling and acting like you all big and bad because you got security around you 24/7. Yeah, that shit gonna catch up to you one day. Yeah, I mean, because some people aren't gonna care that you have security around you. You cross the line, they gonna fuck you up. It is what it is. I mean, really, he does all this trolling. He just does it for attention. Like, one of these days, his fan base is gonna grow up and they're gonna get tired of his act and nobody's gonna care about him anymore. I mean, most of his fan base is suburban white kids anyway. I mean, eventually they'll stop falling for his trolling. They won't be entertained by it no more, and they'll move on from him. But watch that documentary. It's a good one. If you have HBO Max, you should watch Tom and Jerry, the Tom and Jerry movie. I liked it. I mean, it wasn't the greatest animated movie I've ever seen, but it was good. You know, I gotta say, HBO Max, out of all the streaming services out there, HBO Max is the best one. They get new movies every month. If you're a DC fan, they've got the Batman animated series from the 90s on there. They got about 2 or 3 Justice League movies, the animated movies. They got the live action Justice League movie. Yeah, I originally only got HBO Max just so I could watch Wonder Woman 1984, but I decided to keep it because, again, the Batman animated series, the Justice League movies, Ballers, it's a good show. I mean, I know it doesn't come on anymore, but I never finished it, so I've been catching up on Ballers. Key and Peele's on there if you want to rewatch that. Chappelle Show's on there if you want to rewatch it. HBO Max got something for everybody, so it's worth the $13.99 or whatever the price tag is. If you don't have HBO Max, go get it. And of course, Netflix has a new documentary about Notorious B.I.G. I watched the first episode. It's pretty good. Go check it out. All right, y'all. That's all I got for y'all today. Remember, please comment, tell me something, show me some love, give me some suggestions. Leave a comment in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube, or leave me a voice message if you're listening on Anchor. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm out.